welcome back to my channel. Thanks to all my True Blues for coming back. So today's video is all about making your home baby proof and safe for your baby or toddler to roam more freely and give you a little more peace of mind. And this video is not just for you, mama. This is for your caretaker, grandparents, aunts, uncles, dads, anybody who cares for their baby or toddler or little one. Now, of course, the best prevention ever is to supervise your child. Never, ever, ever leave your baby or toddler alone because they are just very innovative creatures, and you'd be surprised what they'd figure out and find out. And today I'm actually going to share a couple of those ideas with you because me being a mom of 3, I still can't remember all the things I'm supposed to do. So it's always a learning curve in motherhood, and I'm still trying to figure things out. And then it's like, oh yeah, I'm supposed to do that. Oh yeah, I should have done that. Oh my gosh. So, you know, toddlers, they can find themselves in some jams, if you know what I mean. So if you want to learn how to prevent those safety hazards from happening in your home, let's get right into it. Okay, so these are some of the items that I ordered from Amazon, starting with the Safety First brand, and these are the knob covers for your stove. So they come with 5. I only need 4. So I'm going to show you how I put those on, but I just want to show you like all the items I have here. Then the other thing that I purchased was also by the Safety First brand. These are the ultra clear plug protectors. And so this is what they look like. They're the flat, that's Jack. They're the flat clear ones. These are the best, guys. These are what you want. So these are the ones that you don't want. These are also Safety First brand, but these are like the oval shape, and the babies know how to pull these out. So see the difference? These are very thin, and they just lay flush against the outlet, which I will show you. At least I know Jack is. Jack, and even my other kids from the past, I remember they were able to get into these, get their nail behind these and actually remove these from the outlets. So these are the best ones. So moving along, these are the corner, like the table corner protectors. So I've never used these before, but they're really thick. They're more flexible on the bottom, but the corners are pretty thick. So I'm going to show you how I use those. And then up there, it has the 3M tape, the double tape around all the edges so that it sticks. So I'm going to show you how I put those on. I've never used these before. I always just tie like a towel or a blanket, but I want to try these just because I'm tired of seeing like the blanket tied around the corner of my table. I want it to look a little more neater. And I will definitely put the links in the description below. Now over here are the baby safety cabinet locks. And these are for doors and drawers. So I went with the black ones this time. And so they come with like the 3M here on the back side. So like, just to show you an example, like these are old ones that I had. The top parts have cracked off. So basically this is gonna go like that. And then what happens is it catches, this part here catches under here. So they won't be able to pull the drawer back. So I will show you how that works once I have it installed. So yeah, these are just the items that I purchased off Amazon, and I'm gonna see how they work out. So I will show you what I do.
Okay, so this right here is what you guys do not want. Now that he's taller and he's able to actually reach these knobs, it is definitely a safety hazard because if he's able to turn this over just a little bit, we can have a gas leak in our home. And, you know, nobody wants to wake up or discover that gas has been leaking. So these stove knob covers are definitely a great investment just for the health and safety of all of us here. As you can see, these went on very easily. And I am already having Jack test them out right here, and he's having fun with them, but he cannot get into the knob at all, and he's unable to remove them or open them in any way, so they work great.
So the first thing you want to do is you want to just kind of like just get down on eye level. So I'm on my knees, I'm on eye level, and this is like about where the little one would be. And so if you come over here, we just want to like kind of scan the room for any dangers. And obviously we have the sharp edge corners, which I'm going to be covering with those edge covers. And this is what I was talking about. Like, the reason I bought those, I'm really hoping they work because I've always done it this way where I've just tied blankets, like throw blankets or towels, literally. Like, I just tied it around the corner to cover that edge. But I'm done. I would like to just have a normal looking table and not have something wrapped around it. So gonna put the edges on those corners for sure. I think I'll even go over here and do that. And then if we notice back here, we have an outlet. I do already have a safety plug on that side. This is for the lamp that we do use. So what I did was I pushed his kitchen so that it kind of meets right here so that he wouldn't think of getting behind there. So far it's worked. Hopefully it continues to. Now, we have lots of brick here, and that's a danger. So what I do for now is typically I'll just go ahead and grab pillows, and I'll just kind of put them there like that to cover it when he's around throughout the floor playing or if he's on one of his little ridey toys. So I'll go ahead and do that. Now, another thing is, you want to look for cords. You want to tuck any cords or plugs back. And I don't know if you can see, but there are some down there. So I tucked them back behind this cabinet. And then I made sure to put like his toy basket all the way against the shelf. So he won't even think about it. You know, out of sight, out of mind. That would be sharp. That would be hard. That would be a hard hit if the child was running around and then fell into this part of the wall. So I have this padding. This is just one of those ledge cushions that you can get, and it has like the 3M tape behind it. This has been here for 11 years now, like the whole time we've lived in this house, since my firstborn was mobile. And so I have one there. I was always worried about him running around here and falling on that corner of the wall and hitting his head. I also have one right here. So I just went ahead and I put it on both sides there because before we didn't have this or that. And so I was just concerned with him running and crashing into those corners. And that's like the perfect height from the ground up for them to have room to grow. Like, here, Jack, come on, let's stand over here. See, he's like right at the very bottom. Come over here, buddy. Here, Jack, stand here. What's this? Yeah, see, he's like right at the bottom. So he still has room to grow as he runs around, but these have been there. And so, oh yeah, this leads me to the next danger, is this door can be opened And so in order to prevent that, we actually need to get some sort of a lock put up on top, which we're going to do. Shh, it's okay. Now, another thing is books, okay? These are all my books. He can't have paper books because paper books, the babies will rip, and they will also eat. They will chew on them and eat them. So that could be a choking hazard, and obviously we don't want our babies eating books, right? So what I did was I like really squeezed them in tight. Like, look, I can't even pull this out. So these are all locked in, believe it or not. Like, he can't get this out if he tried. So that's what I've done with all the books, okay? So that he cannot get to them, even here, but he cannot get to that. So that's my trick for, like, if you have a bookshelf and you know, don't have anywhere else to put them and they're in plain sight, you can lock them in together by just really squeezing one extra book in there, and then that just makes it safer. And now if we come over here, I have this ladder thing for my throw blankets, and we made sure to purchase this safety wall kit, which IKEA sells these. And so you can get longer ones. We still have yet to do those cabinets. It's just we are getting built-ins. We're gonna do like some homemade built-ins on each side of the fireplace. That's part of like the home improvements we're gonna be working on. But for now, he doesn't try to climb it or anything like that. When he is down here, we're always with him. So he's never alone. And we are aware that those could tip over. So we're always on it. But I would suggest if you have any type of shelving, you want to go out and purchase these safety wall kits. Oh, this is a better view. And then here, he just recently discovered opening this, and he likes to go in and out. So my husband is actually going to be putting a zip tie on this. This just happened like the beginning of this week, where he started to get into the cabinet, and we had to move some of the stuff out. Like my books were in there. These are so special to me, the set of books here. So I took those out because I didn't want him ripping this. But yeah, so we're gonna do a zip tie there. So that's a thought. If you have two knobs together, you can zip tie them and then just cut the excess off. Oh, another thing, blind safety. I tied them up because typically they would come down like this far or even longer, because that is actually a strangulation hazard. Babies have actually gotten, and toddlers have gotten their heads stuck in here when it's down here, you know, where they can actually reach it, and they've hung themselves. But fortunately, the stories I've heard, the mothers have found them right away while they were turning blue though. But so if you look, I tied them all up, and I went over here and I did that over here too. See how that one's really high? This one's a little higher because we do have the couch, and so I always worry like if he were to stand up, but still it's so high up there if you could see. And then over there I did the same thing. So typically they come all the way down. So you want to make sure you tie up those strings, because that's so dangerous. The little ones can actually hang themselves on the loops of that. And then of course over here we have more corners. And in general, you guys, the glass table is so dangerous. So like I said, we never leave him alone, obviously, because I worry he could stand on the table and it would break. My husband says that wouldn't happen, but I don't put nothing past the possibilities. Hey, you. Oh, speaking of which, look at this. We have a baby with a water bottle. This is, you know, a lot of us are drinking water bottles, right? Right, mamas? Now I want to show you something. These caps are choking hazards, okay? They put the bottle in their mouth and they suck on the top and they move it around, and then look at what happens, guys. This pops off and ends up in your baby's mouth or your toddler's mouth. It can get lodged in their throat. It is definitely a danger. And as you've seen, he came and grabbed it. Do you need more water? Okay, Mama will pour it. He came and grabbed it from me. So keep your water bottles out of the area where your child will be. I had mine here because I was still here. I'm guilty. He caught me. I'm going to go pour some water in his cup. Okay, I poured his water in his cuppy. He's happy now. Now, another thing, guys, is if you have older children. Now, this is my older kid's toy. It's one of those soccer slidey things, you know. Now, the problem with this is they leave it behind, and look at what's happening here. Look at what's happening to this toy. This is actually peeling off. Do you see that? Now look at, who's going to find that on the floor or possibly see that and rip it off? The baby. So we got to get toys like this out of this room. And that's also something you want to be making sure that you're always checking your baby's toys, going through the toy bins and double checking that big sister didn't put like little small objects in there. That's what I like to do. I constantly scan and search and then separate and remove if I need to. Which brings me to my next point in this video. Okay, so my house is a little cray, so sorry about all the background noise, but I'm determined to get this video done for you guys. So I wanted to share with you a couple things that like I came across and realized like, oh, that's not good for the baby, or we need to replace this with that, or, you know, just little things I had to tweak along the way for Jack's safety. So let me show you. Number one, board books. Now we know that the paper books are no good for the babies because they'll rip them. Of course, we don't want all of our books ripped up, right? So what do? They make board books for little toddlers, right? And of course, I mean, the whole idea is for moms and loved ones to read to them, which I do. But I thought it would be okay to store these on that bookshelf of mine so that he had a little section of books. Well, lo and behold, after doing that, I came across little baby monster who likes to eat the book. So yeah, not good idea, guys. Board books are not safe to leave with toddlers because they are still teething. I know Jack is still teething. He's got teeth coming in the front and the back. And so they tend to chew like anything in sight. And so yeah, not a good idea. And even these flashcards, because we learn letters and stuff, he started chewing on that, eating that, and then I had to like get it out of his mouth. So in place of board books, there's cloth books. So these are the ones that are safe for toddlers and that you could actually leave in their playing area. Another thing is, you know, we all have a spot in the house where we change the babies, change the toddler's diaper. And as they get bigger, I know for me, like as my kids get bigger, I don't always go back to the changing table, even though we do have one still. Because ours is upstairs in the bedroom. And so like, I'm gonna change them on the floor. You know what I mean? So I have my wipes and I have the butt cream next to where I sit typically. And this is a hazard. It can be easily open, easily put in the mouth, easily chewed on and ingest it. We don't want that, right? So we want to find a designated area to keep this stuff up and away from the babies and the toddlers. Because as they get older, they get into stuff like this. Same with wipes. I found him one day, I left the wipes out, he pulled all the wipes out and then he was chewing on them and he had a whole bunch of them stuffed in the back of his cheek. So want to keep this stuff up and out of his way. And so I learned this a little bit ago where in one of my other videos I showed you guys like where I have a designated like diaper station. So I'll show you guys where I do that again. But it's up high, it's out of reach, And every time I change him, I make sure to put these items back where they go. This way I know I don't have to worry about him getting into these. Plus waste, you know, this stuff is not cheap. So it's a waste if they get into it. And then also the good old fashioned toilet paper roll trick. Okay. And I don't know if you guys have heard of the toilet paper trick or check, toilet paper roll check. So you get a toilet paper roll like this, or even a paper towel, whatever. They're both the same, you know, circumference. And this is to check the safety of the size of the toys that your baby or toddler is playing with. And I guess the rule of thumb is if it can fit through this and if it falls through this, then it's too small for the child. It will then pose as a choking hazard. So if it can fit in here, so I'm gonna give you guys an example. Okay. So like for instance, this is part of Kendall's play kitchen. These are little pieces of cake, wooden pieces. Now this looks like, oh, a pretty safe size, right? And you figure, oh, no big deal. Well, I mean, if I do this, look, it actually falls through. See? So now there's a point like where if I try to go like this, it won't fit. But if you can turn it in any fashion and it will fall through, it's unsafe. Now, I would have never thought this would be a big deal because I figured, you know what? It's so big, it's not gonna go down his throat where he would choke. Well, let me tell you guys something. Just a week ago, it wasn't this particular item, it was one of those bouncy balls that was bigger, like this size, but round. He actually stuck the whole thing in his mouth. It got stuck in his mouth where he couldn't breathe because it was in his mouth. So there was no air getting through and he was like turning purple. And I had to go in and like take my finger and swipe it out. So even an object like this can get stuck in the baby's mouth where it's blocked from the opening. You know what I mean? So not everything, like I never thought of that. I know it may sound pretty basic and like kind of or crazy, but I just always figured like if it would get lodged in their throat, then it's a choking hazard. But they could actually suffocate from no air if there's an obstruction in their mouth, you know? So yeah, now I'm like all about this because I used to think this was overrated, to be honest. And then I went around after that happened with him last week. I went around and I started putting like everything in this and checking. And I came up with so much stuff, you guys. Like even this lemon here for the kitchen. I mean, I used to just let him play with it and chew on it. But I'm like, you know what? Look, it's so small. So even though it wouldn't like get stuck and he wouldn't be able to actually swallow this, it can block the airway in the mouth. So keep that in mind. And then of course, like I was saying, having the older siblings, how you've seen like just that soccer toy that the labeling was peeling off and that can pose as a choking hazard. Well, my daughter, she loves crafts, okay? She's 6 years old and she's very, very crafty. So she'll use just old pieces from tape rolls, bungees, whatever she could find, feathers that fall off of costumes. So she'll always have like pieces like this laying around. And the problem with this is these are all choking hazards. So you have to constantly be on the cleanup mode, you know, especially when the older kids are around. Because you don't know what they're bringing into the baby's safe zone, you know, and they're fast and they don't think of this stuff because they're kids. They're not going to. So it's up to us to constantly like double check for this. And that's why us moms have to always be on the go, clean, clean, clean. And here's just another example, like the little beads, because she's all into the beading now and stuff. So yeah, I'm always, you know, I have to be like 3 steps ahead of my kids because there's just always dangers lurking in this house, you know? So yeah. And then of course, you know, as you've seen, Jack ran with it, and here is a choking hazard right on top of our water bottle, guys. So we have to be really vigilant about these things. So just to recap, number 1, you want to scan the room for any immediate dangers. And that would be like sharp corners, any kind of sharp edging, because kids love to run, and if they take that fall, their head can whack off something. I am going to invest in that same type of ledging that I have on the walls, and I used to have that for the other kids, but you know, after a while they ended up just taking it off themselves. So I have to buy that stuff again for Jack. I actually forgot about that until today. So see, this was like helpful for me doing this video. And then, like I said, you can avoid any type of board books or paper products because babies like to chew, toddlers like to chew, and then that's a choking hazard. Oh, the doors, we have to put a door lock on that basement door. Even though they have doorknob covers, I just don't trust them. My kids always figure that out. The doorknob covers, in my opinion, they don't really work good. But you've seen I covered the stove knob covers, those work great. Oh, and then of course cover all your outlets. So I know there's probably like so much more that I'm not covering in this video, but just those are just a couple helpful tips for you. And you know, like I said, number one, prevention is key. Never leave the child unsupervised. In like for the bathrooms, we just always keep our bathroom doors shut. And in that family room, we have a pocket door, so it just slides out, and then we just go ahead and lock it. But they do have like safety locks for toilets and things like that, if you want to get into all that. I just don't find it necessary because we always lock the door, and the kids are even good about it. So, and then they're also really good about keeping the toilet shut, because that could pose as a drowning hazard. The babies and toddlers can, you know, fall and flip upside down if they're like looking into the bowl. They could somehow flip over and then get stuck upside down where they can drown. So these are just a couple things to think about. But yeah, I hope that helps. And oh, gates, of course, gates. I didn't show you my gates, but I mean, we all know what a baby gate looks like, right? So gates are also like a must-have. We have a lot of stairs in our home. We have a couple stairs that go down into that family room, which I took you down into, which is like where we spend mostly all of our time. This here is the front room. So when you walk in my house, this is like the first room you will walk into. And then that way is the stairs going up to our bedrooms. So I always have a gate at the bottom of the stairs going down to the family room. But I still do want to buy one for the top of the stairs for when Jack is actually like sleeping in his own room, just in case he were to get up in the middle of the night. I don't want him being like sleepy and taking a stumble down the stairs. So yeah, I hope this was helpful for you guys. And like I said, it's not just for moms and dads. This is for any caretakers. So, you know, if you want, share this video with whoever might be watching your child or helping out with your child once in a while. And for my true blues, and you mean so much to me, and you're actually going to find out how much you mean to me if you watch next week's video. So make sure you hit that bell if you haven't already, so you get notified right away once I post that next video. It is a cleaning video, but it's not just your average cleaning video. There's just so much more to it, and you will see when that comes out next week. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. As always, I appreciate your time, and if you're new, please make sure you subscribe, become a True Blue too, and thank you for watching. Bye.